Steven Spielberg's 1993 film Jurassic Park is an utter masterpiece. This film transported audiences to a world where dinosaurs existed and walked amongst us before quickly highlighting how terrible it would be for our two worlds to coexist. Ever since this film, Hollywood has been trying to recapture the magic of a present day world that just happens to have dinosaurs. There were two sequels that stemmed from this first film, followed by a brand new trilogy featuring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and now Hollywood wants us to enter the park again with Jurassic World Dinosaur Blood Heist. Hi everyone, I am Joe from Create Context, and today we're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, directed by Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards is a pretty talented filmmaker who has a knack for grounding fantastical stories in a sense of realism. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is a particular highlight as this film dealt with a beat-to-death IP and delivered a heartfelt story that felt both nostalgic and new at the same time. With this new Jurassic World, I was hoping the director would do the same, giving us new characters to root for and a fun story set in the Jurassic World universe. While there is certainly fun to be had with this new installment, it is in no way a return to form for the series or harkening back as much to the first film. Jurassic World Rebirth works really well as a roller coaster, but fails as a movie. The film has some truly awe-inspiring spectacle, super fun boat sequences, and some very good-looking CGI dinosaurs, sans the final big baddie, the D-Rex. I won't spoil it, but that guy looks terrible. But the cast of characters leading this adventure are uninspired, entirely one-note, and the MacGuffin of this film is maybe the most egregious of the entire series. The film starts with a pretty strong opening stinger before quickly letting the audience know through on-screen text that yeah, everything that happened in that previous trilogy, dinosaurs escaping and taking over the Earth, that all happened, but it isn't that big of a deal. Climate change has forced all the dinosaurs to take shelter near the equator, and the ones that have stuck around are all slowly dying off. Enter pharmaceutical rep Martin Krebs, who enlists covert operations specialist Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, for his trillion-dollar plan. His plan is to extract the blood from three of the world's largest dinosaurs to stop heart disease. Because even in this world where dinosaurs roam around with man, heart disease is still humanity's greatest foe. Honestly, this setup is fine, and everyone Krebs enlists quickly puts aside their various qualms in order to get us to the action quicker. His scene where he enlists Scarlett Johansson is so quick it's almost laughable. She says, I don't know if I want to do this. And he said, it's a lot of money. And she goes, okay, great. And then they just go off. And once that action does start, it never slows down. The first sequence where they have to extract blood from a giant water-based dinosaur is a blast. And the subsequent danger the crew finds themselves in. Like I said, this all works great as a roller coaster, but not so great as a movie. The actors here seem to be really struggling acting against the CGI beasts, and there is no character development from anyone in the film. Sans maybe one random dad and his daughter's boyfriend who eventually learn to respect each other throughout the film. Everyone else begins the film as a hero and ends the film as a hero, or they begin the film as a jerk and end the film as dinosaur food. There isn't enough plot to keep the film engaging, and while the action is good, it doesn't rise to the level of Edwards' previous works, or even top some of the best scenes in the Jurassic World franchise as a whole. It's really difficult to compare this film to the original because that film was so unique and told a genuinely heartfelt story inside of this pseudo-horror narrative. Jurassic World Rebirth is all spectacle with little plot, and despite my qualms with the film itself, I did have a great time at the theater seeing this movie. I got to see this movie at a midnight showing in 4DX, and this is really the way to see this movie if that's all possible for you. If you're not familiar with 4DX, it's a certain theater format that basically turns the movie into a Universal Studios ride. The seats shake, lightning flashes in the theater, water occasionally gets shot in your face, and smoke often fills the entire room. It's a super fun time at the movies and the kind of format that feels built for movies like Jurassic World Rebirth. The return of the midnight movie release was also incredibly fun, and I hope more big blockbusters return to this trend. The last film I saw as a midnight release was The Dark Knight. And while this movie, Jurassic World, doesn't come anywhere close to the quality of that one, the excitement in the theater was just as palpable as it was back in 2008. This theater, this midnight showing I was at, was filled with these dinosaur parents bringing their kids who are on summer vacation to a movie that started way past their bedtimes, allowing these kids to tell their friends later that they got to see the new Jurassic Park movie at midnight before anyone else did. It felt like a special experience, one that theaters are leaning more and more into, and one that I hope continues, especially for movies like this one. Despite boasting the directorial talents of Gareth Edwards and the writing chops of David Cope, and along with some huge name actors, Jurassic World Rebirth ultimately falls flat as a film, at least it did for me. But as a ride, as a summer blockbuster, it exceeds in ways that only the first film did. There's still that tangible element that's missing from this one. The first movie extensively used puppetry and only slightly relied on CGI, making that entire movie feel crunchy and realistic in a way that none of the sequels ever could. But it doesn't matter as much when the movie you're watching just wants you to have fun. This may not be a true rebirth, but it's a solid summer blockbuster. If you're able to turn your brain off and ignore the less than compelling narrative, you will have fun at Jurassic World Rebirth. Thank you guys so much for hanging out at the Weekly Movie Minute. Again, I am Joe from Create Context. If you dig this, please give us a subscribe. That would be super cool, and I'll see you guys next time.